Hello guys, it's I think I just messed up the intro already. Hello guys, it's Slippery Jack and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about... Can you please change the picture? That freaks me out, kind of. Thank you. Anyway, talking about the first album by Hybrid, Wide Angle. So this is an album that I've been wanting to get out of my system for a long time, and also I've been wanting to do pretty much just like anything by Hybrid, because they're a new band that I just discovered, and yeah, before I knew I was just completely hooked and I can't stop listening to them. And I've been playing this album so much and it only gets better. So yeah, let's get into it. I'll give you a quick introduction to them before I start talking about Wide Angle itself. So, they are an English breakbeat electronic group. They've also have quite a bit of rock influences in some of their albums, or some of their songs, I mean. They've never done like a straight rock album. But, yeah, mostly electronic, which isn't bad. I'm sure you can already tell that I'm really into electronic music right now. And, yeah. So that, but the strange thing that sets Hybrid apart from other bands is that they cross the breakbeat music with an orchestra. And I didn't know, when I first heard this, I was like, can that be done? I'll have to see what this band sounds like. And yeah, I played about like probably half of this album, and we take my shoes off because my feet are getting really hot. So I heard about half of this album, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. I probably will be coming back to this. Then I listened to it again, but more of it, and I was like, I underestimated this. This is really good, but I had to step away from it because some of the songs just got really stuck in my head. And then eventually I just came back to it again, and it only got better each time I listened to it. And before I knew it, I was completely addicted to this band. So of course there's more to Hybrid than just Wide Angle. There's also arguably, I can't say it's better than Wide Angle, but there's also Disappear Here, which is another personal favorite of mine. I also love Morning Sci-Fi. I Choose Noise is another good listen. And there's also their new album, Light of the Fearless, which I have also really getting into, and it's becoming one of my favorites by them. But, yeah, anyway, I forget, almost like each album Hybrid has released, one of the members quits, and I can't really keep track of who's on what album. I think it's, Mike Truman and Chris Healings, and Lee Mullen. I don't know if he's on this album or not, but I think, or if he's part of the band. But yeah, each album, I believe one of them left, and yeah, right now it's only, then there's Charlotte Truman, who I don't know if she's married to Mike Truman or if they're related, but yeah, she joined later on, and it's only her and Mike now, but they're still making great music to this day. So anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get into this review. So, Wide Angle concentrates a lot more on electronics and guitars, and yeah. If you're new to Hybrid, I would definitely recommend starting with this album because it kind of gives you an idea of what they're all about. And I think that they made great use of the electronics, and the orchestra is also this album also has the most concentrates more on the orchestra than their other releases. So there's the first track, opening credits, and as you can tell by the title, I'll warn you that if you don't like dramatic music, you may have a harder time getting into this album. I got into it pretty quickly, but yeah, this album has a very cinematic feel, kind of like it's a movie, but like, it's kind of strange. You have to, I'm not really sure how to describe it really, but mainly just a lot of it's very dramatic. So the opening credits is just a straight orchestral piece. Very nice, relaxing, and yeah, I really like this one. And then it goes into If I Survive, which and this is the song that kind of got me into Hybrid in the first place. I loved how I was instantly in love with like how with the vocals. I love how Hybrid has always done vocals, and yeah, this really demonstrates their talent with vocals. And it always gets me pumped up. So sometimes I like to listen to this sometimes before track meets or yeah, stuff like that. But I love this song so much. Then there's I Know, which is very different from If I Survive. It's it starts out with a guitar riff loop. I don't know what's the differences, but yeah, it's a da 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 da, making kind of a cold feel to it, and then the keyboards come in and the orchestra, creating a very large feeling intro, and yeah, it just sounds a whole lot sadder than If I Survive. And it doesn't not really a good pump up track, but I also really like this one. And yeah, I think that this one has some of the best orchestral work that Hybrid has ever done. And yeah, this is another old favorite. Like I just said, I'm sorry, my head's not really thinking straight, and you can probably already tell from my voice that I'm kind of sick right now. Anyway, it's got that wobble bass that you may recognize from modern dubstep, like it's not don't expect scary monsters and nice sprites out of this album or anything like Skrillex or Knife Party. This is breakbeat music, which eventually kind of evolved into dubstep. Then, but anyway, then there's Beach Coma, which starts out with a saxophone intro, and then this one has a lot of the wobble bass. This is another awesome track. Then, but it's just an instrumental, unlike the other two. So yeah, next one is Dreaming Your Dreams. It's also this one has vocals again, and we're about to say that pretty much all the vocals on this album are from Julie Cruz. And this one starts out very mechanical sounding with the synthesizers, kind of keyboards going, and the electronics make it sound kind of foreboding sounding at the beginning, but then about 2.5 minutes in, the orchestra comes in, and Julie Cruz's vocals come in, and it makes it feel much more welcoming and comforting and more positive. Then at the end, you kind of get that foreboding kind of thing that was going on in the beginning. This track is such an earworm. I mean, like this is what caused me to take a few breaks from this album because I could not get it out of my head. Then there is Sniper. Sniper, I was going to consider a least favorite track, but I'm going to tell you already that I love this album so much that I can't really choose a least favorite, I don't think. Let's see. But yeah, Sniper I didn't really care for at first, but it's become actually quite a grower. I like how it starts out with the electronics and sort of like Dreaming Your Dreams and sorry, excuse me. Anyway, then when the orchestra comes in, this song really starts to shine, making it sound more dramatic with the kind of sounding a bit like a sci-fi movie or something. But yeah, this is a really cool track. I really like this one now. Then there's Theme from Wide Angle, which, and well, this might be actually be my favorite track from the album at the moment. It keeps changing. But yeah, it starts out with more of a trance kind of track with the and I'm like, whoa, this is what am I listening to? And then when the orchestra and the guitars come in, this is when the song starts to really get good, and I love every second of it. I say second. I don't have it today. Anyway, there's also like these David Gilmour style guitars in it. Kind of sound they sound a bit like giving it kind of a Pink Floyd kind of feel, and also with the keyboards here and there, adding more texture and flavor to it. And yeah, this is a great track, and you need to hear this. Anyway, next is Sinequanon. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is the only song with vocals that are not from Julie Cruz. It's from Soon EMC. I don't know, however you want to pronounce his name. Anyway, this is a different track on the album. It's a straight rap track, but the rapping is in a different language, and I'm guessing probably French. I'm not really sure, and I don't really like a lot of rap music, but this has grown to become one of my favorites from the album, simply because it's just really satisfying, and it's got like kind of guitars here and there. I can't tell if they're guitars or synthesizers trying to sound like guitars, but it always sticks in my head, and it's really, yeah, like I said, really satisfying. And this is definitely one of my favorites from the album, and I find myself returning to this one a lot. Then there's Highlife, which was also a consideration for a least favorite. It's another trance kind of track, a bit like the beginning of Theme from Wide Angle, but pretty much all the way through, with Julie Cruz's vocals, and that's kind of what bothered me. I didn't really care for how the vocals were. I felt they were kind of off pitch, but I've grown to really like this one. If you were to point a gun at my head, I think this is still my least favorite. But I still love this track so much. I keep wanting to call it Fatal Breathing. Hold on. Sorry about that. I keep wanting to cough. It's hard, it's hard to make this video with a scratchy throat. Anyway, Fatal Beating is probably the most emotional and sad track on the album. I can't really tell what it's about. I'm guessing probably like the death of a loved one. But like, yeah, I don't know why I don't really come back to this one a lot. I usually listen to the album up to like about Highlife or Sinequanon, but I don't know why I don't listen to all of it very often. Probably because I simply don't have the time, and the album is 76 minutes. So yeah, Fatal Beating isn't really. It's not a bad track, not one of my favorites, but I still think it's a very. I think it's. I shouldn't have said not bad. I think it's still a very good track, and I never skip over it. Then there's Finished Symphony, which actually is. I'm not really sure why they called it Finished Symphony. It's basically just a finished version of a track they did before this album called Symphony, and they just finished it, so Finished Symphony, laugh out loud. But yeah, this is a really good track. The electronics and the orchestra are like put in the right place, and everything just comes together perfectly. It didn't really do much for me at first, but it now does, and it's now one of my favorite tracks. I think that, yeah, it's just very emotional, and yeah, I can't really describe this track very much. I'm starting to run out of time. Dang. Anyway, they could have ended it right here, but they ended it with 2.5 minutes altitude, which is kind of some rising sounding orchestra and the electronics together. Again, pretty much just like everything else, but it's just kind of summing up the whole album. Kind of like the movie is over or something. But yeah, I used to not really like this one because it ends too soon, but I think it's good, and I can't imagine this album ending without it. Anyway, overall, Wide Angle is an amazing album. If you are one of those people who think that electronic music has no emotion, then you should definitely go listen to this and think again, because this is one of the most emotional albums you will ever hear. And yeah, I love it from start to finish. There's no bad track. It's a lot of the songs just kind of start don't really sound very good like the first time you hear them, but you got to give it a chance because it all builds up to create something awesome. But yeah, like I said, awesome album. This isn't the last of Hybrid you will hear on this channel. I will probably review something else by them. I'm not sure. But please like or subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and please give me some more reviews of what to review next, and also some video recommendations besides FORTNITE. Because I'll tell you this, the more you want me to do FORTNITE, the less I want to do it. Okay, so yeah, those are my thoughts on Wide Angle. Go check it out if you haven't. And yeah, thanks very much for watching once again, and I'll see you later. Bye.